Monday mornings were always the same for Derek Bennett. The fluorescent office lights buzzed faintly, blending with the dull hum of keyboards and muted phone conversations. Derek stared at his computer screen, a sprawling spreadsheet consuming his attention. Life as an insurance claims adjuster was far from thrilling, but it paid the bills. His dream of being someone extraordinary, a traveler, a writer, anything but this, had long since faded into the background of routine. Something about that morning felt different. His coffee tasted unusually bitter, his socks didn't match, and a nagging sense of anticipation loomed over him. It was as if the universe was about to shift. At 9:37 a.m., while contemplating whether to add another creamer to his coffee, his phone rang. The caller ID read unknown number. Normally, he'd let it go to voicemail, but something compelled him to answer. "Mr. Derek Bennett?" the voice asked, sharp and professional. The caller identified himself as Officer Reynolds from the Pinewood Police Department, requesting Derek's immediate presence at the station. The drive there felt like an eternity. His mind raced with worst-case scenarios, stolen identity, an unpaid fine, maybe even mistaken involvement in some crime. Anxiety knotted in his chest as he arrived, only to be greeted by a stern officer who led him to a small room. On the table sat a weathered, battered briefcase. Its leather was cracked with age, and its metal clasps were tarnished. Officer Reynolds explained that it had been discovered in a safety deposit box, linked to a long-dormant estate. Opening the briefcase revealed an array of artifacts that looked plucked from history itself. Photographs, aged documents, and a gold pocket watch engraved with the initials DB. But what truly caught Derek's attention was a birth certificate, his own, but bearing the names of parents he didn't recognize. The officer explained further. The briefcase belonged to a man named Jonathan Bennett, a wealthy entrepreneur who had vanished decades ago. DNA testing confirmed that Derek was Jonathan's grandson, and the estate, including an undisclosed fortune, now belonged to him. Derek struggled to process it all. His mind swirled with possibilities of wealth, travel, and freedom. But a handwritten note tucked inside the briefcase quickly brought him back to reality. The note read, "To my heir. If you're reading this, my past has finally caught up with me. The fortune is yours, but there's a condition. You must complete the journey I never could." Inside this briefcase is a map to a treasure buried where my story began. Find it, and the rest is yours. Jonathan Bennett. Skepticism mingled with excitement. A treasure hunt? It sounded like something from a movie. Yet the allure was irresistible. By the end of the day, Derek had requested unpaid leave, packed a bag, and booked a flight to Clearwater, a small coastal town marked on the map. The town itself was quaint, with cobblestone streets and weather-worn signs swaying in the ocean breeze. The map led him to an abandoned lighthouse perched precariously on a cliffside. Inside, after hours of searching, Derek discovered a rusted key hidden beneath a loose floorboard, along with another note directing him offshore. The next morning, he rented a small fishing boat and ventured out to the coordinates specified in the note. With the key in hand, he dove into the clear, cool waters and unearthed a chest buried in the sand. His heart raced as he heaved it onto the deck and opened it. Inside, he found stacks of journals, each bound in leather, alongside a small collection of gold coins. At first, disappointment clouded his thoughts. This was the grand treasure. But as he thumbed through the journals, he realized they contained far more than monetary value. Each journal was a chronicle of Jonathan Bennett's life. Stories of adventures, dreams, regrets, and lessons learned. They were vivid, raw, and unapologetically human. As Derek read, he began to understand his grandfather's journey and the weight of the legacy he'd inherited. Returning home, Derek couldn't ignore the calling these journals presented. He compiled and published them under the title The Bennett Legacy. The book became an instant bestseller, inspiring readers worldwide to embrace their dreams and live boldly. The proceeds allowed Derek to quit his job for good. He used the money to establish a foundation dedicated to helping underprivileged kids pursue their passions, an endeavor he knew would make Jonathan proud. In the end, Derek realized the real treasure wasn't the gold or even the inheritance. It was the wisdom to live a life of purpose and adventure. The call that pulled him out of his mundane office life had set him on a path to transformation, and for the first time, Derek felt like he was truly living,